The Arnold Clark Reel sale is now on.
Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show on PLZ Soccer's YouTube and Facebook channels. Delighted to have your company. I'm Peter Martin, Alan Ruff as ever alongside me, and Barry Ferguson on this Wednesday with a full Premiership card to look forward to and quite a bit of news to talk about. Yeah, lots to get our teeth into. Ruffy and Barry here with me, of course. The Premiership in action in full force tonight. Really looking forward to the games. Of course, it really is hotting up. It's neck and neck at the top. There's the odd game in hand here and there, but nevertheless, here's what we've got to look forward to. Celtic, St Mirren, Hamilton against Aberdeen, Hearts, Dundee, Kilmarnock against Rangers, Motherwell, Hibernian, and St Johnstone against Livingston. And as far as the table goes, Ruffy, you couldn't ask for any more at the top end of that Premiership table.
No, you couldn't. And obviously with Celtic having the home game and the three challengers all get tough games to play. This is the game when Rangers, Kilmarnock, Aberdeen have really got to state a case to be on Celtic's shirt tails for the rest of the season. They can't afford to sort of start dropping points so early on in the running. So the results tonight will be really interesting.
And at the bottom end, Barry, it's fair to say Hamilton, St Mirren and Dundee look as if they are now detached, and it looks as if it's going to be that three-way fight. Just one of them hoping they can get into 10th position.
Yeah, it looks that way. Three of them have struggled all season. So I'll be looking at that in interest. One of them will need to start winning. I do believe it will go right down to the wire. Three of the teams, as I said, have not had a great start, a great first half of the season. So the second half of the season is massive for these three teams.
Yep, of course, it's getting tougher and tougher to predict these games because there will be a few slip-ups along the way. Here's how we're faring head-to-head, Ruffy. I'm not quite sure how you feel about this head-to-head at the moment. It looks as if I don't think you're going to catch me, Ruffy. Is that fair?
No, I think you'd need to have a couple of bad weeks, but there are a few games to go. I'm obviously closing in on Barry, which was my target over New Year. But I think we've noticed that if somebody just gets one, I think one of us had 5
myself.
correct.
Yep.
And elevated him right behind you, but obviously he's had a nightmare since then.
Yeah, bad Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, I think if you get the correct score, suddenly, it just closes the gap. But the 5 points that you get for a correct score is incredible.
Yeah, but I think we can write Ruffy off. I think it'll come down between me and yourself. I'm confident that I can catch you. Ruffy doesn't worry me.
Yeah, make me an idea. Not that we in any way would try and get people into gambling, but it might be worth just some kind of little bet, Ruffy. We always used to do it for a meal out. The winner, the loser picks up the tab, but it's a three-way one here, So got to come up with something, haven't we?
Well, I think if Barry says he's going to beat you, I would say I'm going to beat Barry.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Okay, there you have it. Can't think of anything better than that. As far as influencing which way you think the games are going to go tonight, our reporter Gabriel Antoniazzi had a look at some of the odds.
It's finally here. Yes, the Premiership returns tonight after more than a 3-week break. Let's take a look at some of the odds for tonight's games. Celtic are at home to St Mirren and they drew last time they faced them, 8-1 for a repeat of that result. Can under fire Martin Canning get 3 points tonight for Hamilton? They're a massive 6-1 at home against Aberdeen. Hibs visit Motherwell looking to claw their way back into the top 6 and they're favourites to win at 5-4. Sean Clare scored his first goal for Hearts at the weekend and the bookies are fancying him to net again, 13-8 for Clare to score tonight against Dundee. St Johnstone against Livingston, tough call. You could get both teams to score at just over evens, 11-10. And of course, Kilmarnock versus Rangers, the headline game. Will Jordan Jones play? How about this? He is 14-1 to score first tonight.
Yeah, Jordan Jones, the enemy is how Stephen Gerrard described him, Barry Ferguson. Jordan Jones, there'll be an incentive for him to try and do as well as he can. I just wonder, can Chris Boyd just get in there and fill that gap left by Greg Stewart?
Yeah, look, Boyd is an experienced campaigner, there's no doubt about that. He's got goals in him. He's a proven goal scorer at Premier League level. But I do believe Greg Stewart will be a massive miss. And it'll be interesting to see how Jordan Jones does against his new club. But I'm sure he'll want to go out and press Stephen Gerrard. He'll want to go out and show that he's capable of playing week in, week out for Rangers.
Yeah, I was listening to Stephen O'Donnell saying, just what they're going to have to do to try and stop the threat of Jermaine Defoe. I don't think the artificial surface will have any impact on Defoe. As Gerrard mentioned, he's played on that surface, no problem in the MLS. Steve Davis as well. More than happy to play his football on that surface. But the key element of it all is, and I think this is the nub of the whole thing, is Stephen Gerrard saying pitches, artificial pitches, there's no place for them, Ruffy, in the top flight.
Yeah, we have this discussion year on year, and we would like some meeting that they usually have to say, look, this is the way ahead, this is what we've got to do. How do we sort it out financially? How do we make everybody play on grass? Because let's not kid ourselves on, when you see it on the television, it looks awful. Even Kilmarnock's, even Hamilton's as well. Most of them look terrible to the eye, and we now have more and more players coming out saying, look, I've had enough, I'm not playing in this. I've got a bad injury, I'm not risking my career. So that says it all for me. We know why it's there for certain clubs to get the revenue. We're not arguing with that. And the kids get a use of it coming through the game. But when you get to the top level, it's got to be grass.
Yeah, okay. The Rangers squad is starting to look really impressive. Morelos is the key man in the back pages of most papers, Barry. Ruffy alluded to it last night. If you sell him, it's a bitter blow to any title aspirations Rangers may have. But, suddenly, if you get a crazy bid, Dave King might be tempted because it will ultimately be his call. Yeah,
if you get, as you mentioned, if you get a bid over £10 million, you've got to take it. I mean, you signed the guy for £1 million. I know he's been Rangers' top performer alongside Alan McGregor, but if you get a ridiculous offer in, you've got to take it. Because as I said, you've got Jermaine Defoe now up there, Kyle Lafferty as well, still to kick on in a Rangers jersey. But if it's me, I would wait till the summer, because I do think you'll have a lot of suitors.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned, but I just think Kyle Lafferty's been a huge disappointment second time around, Ruffy.
I think the disappointment is he's not been getting enough game time, and that's obviously why Morelos is playing particularly well. Stephen Gerrard doesn't think the two of them, or the formation that he's playing, the two of them can play at any one time. Maybe eventually when a game, takes shape, they can play. But yeah, we all thought he was going to come and score a lot of goals. But I think you have to say Morelos has been the main guy to keep him out.
Yeah, we touched on Kilmarnock losing Greg Stewart. A real bonus, I think, for Aberdeen and any of the fans there just looking on and saying, well, he's coming to Aberdeen to try and win trophies. That's what he's mentioned, rather than go back to Kilmarnock. That's a huge shot in the arm for Derek McInnes.
Yeah, look, Aberdeen, they had a disappointing start to the season, but they've certainly kicked on the month of December, and now they're up near the top of the league. But I'm surprised that he did choose Aberdeen. He looked to me comfy. I think Kilmarnock played a certain formation that suited him. But you never know in football. It was crazy that Birmingham called him back, and obviously, as we mentioned on Monday, there's something obviously behind it, that he's going to go there on a permanent deal. That's the only way I can see why the boy went to Aberdeen.
Yep. Well, he wants to win silverware. Will he be able to do that? Give us your thoughts on it on YouTube, Facebook, and of course Twitter at PLZ Soccer. Now, give us your prediction then, because we are head-to-head on these games, so we might as well go for it. I think it's going to be 1-1 tonight.
The Kilmarnock Rangers game, no, I think it's going to be close, but Rangers will win it by 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going to go Rangers 2-1 as well, so that's us 3 points nearer them.
Absolutely, okay. Well, there are opportunities, obviously. So Aberdeen, we're talking about them there. They're at Hamilton Accies. 1 win in 10 for Hamilton Accies. Martin Canning, I think, is getting it in the neck at the moment. The board will stand by him. It's a stonewall certainty. It's a unique situation at Hamilton Accies. Martin, to his credit, said, look, my dad, 20 years, he's watched me. He can take listening to abuse from the stands, although it's never nice.
No, it's disappointing. That's the side of the game that I don't like. Your relatives getting a bit of stick. But listen, Martin Cannon, I don't know, what is it, 4 years now he's been in charge of Hamilton Accies, and he's kept him in the Premier League for the 4 years. I think that's Hamilton's stance at the start of the season. Make sure, come the end of the season, that we're still in the Premier League, and he's done that, to be fair to him.
If Aberdeen are serious title contenders, Ruffy, Gary Mackay-Steven has to stay. Stewart's there. Maybe if they can somehow land Lewis Morgan, I think that would be a tremendous coup for them.
Yeah, I think they need every good player that they can get. You know, if they really have dug themselves out a hole. You know, they were nearly out of the top 6 earlier on, but they went on a wee run, and they need to keep doing that. They need to go to places like Hamilton and win. I know it'll be a battle down there, but I think they will win the game.
Yeah, okay. You're going for Aberdeen to win. I think they'll win comfortably as well by a couple of goals.
Yep, as I mentioned earlier, they had a fantastic December, full of confidence. I think they'll go there and win 2-0 tonight.
2-1 for me.
Okay. Now, the league leaders, Celtic, they've got a game in hand over Rangers. They're at home against St Mirren, a St Mirren side that they showed signs of their fighting quality, certainly in the Cup, but I'm looking at them against Celtic. As Brendan Rodgers mentioned, he thinks that Oran Kearney's team are going to see a different Celtic from the one that they managed to get a draw against last time out. Yeah,
it'll be an interesting game, but I just look at it. Celtic are far too strong. Far too strong. I don't see St Mirren getting anything. It's going to be a long, hard season for St Mirren. I know he's come in and he's tried to change the squad round about, trying letting a few players go and bringing a few players in, but I think Celtic will be far too strong for St Mirren tonight. Yeah, but here's Brendan Rodgers' take on the game.
Well, I think that the game earlier on the season, we dominated the game, but we weren't so much of a goal threat, I didn't think. We obviously lost Olivier in that opening part of the game, but even with 10 men, we had a lot of possession, but didn't think we created so much. But the team is in a different place now in terms of the quality of our game and the level and what the players have become very good at over these last few seasons has been looking to cope and deal with teams that do so in deep.
Okay, I don't think too many of us will be going for St Mirren to cause any kind of shock and take something from this. I think Celtic will win comfortably by 3-0, Barry.
Yep, I'm with you. I think they'll be far too strong. 4-0 for Celtic.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to go for 3 as well.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the transfer policy at the moment. The players are starting to come in. Vakun Isuf-Beo will wait for the overall international clearance. He came in last night. He'll be paraded tomorrow, Ruffy. And then over and above that, they're on the verge of signing another player. Marian Zved is going to come in. He's a Ukrainian international. So clearly, he's got the attacking options. Has he got enough cover in the back line? Are they still crying out for that right back that hasn't quite arrived yet?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, Lustig himself is never 100% fit. You never know when he's going to be available. You know, Ralston's come in. I think he's done particularly well. But again, Brendan Rodgers will be looking at Europe. He'll be looking at Europa Cup. He'll be looking at trying to get a really settled side for that one, you know, so he needs to start doing that now.
Yep, of course, the papers this morning were focusing on the two players in particular who have very famous dads. Well, one of them I'm sure is very famous, the other one famous in Scotland to say the least. Charlie Christie is Ryan Christie's dad, and Timothy Weah has a very famous father indeed, a former Ballon d'Or winner in George Weah. Here's what Christie makes of the game ahead against St Mirren.
Obviously it's quite a while ago now that first fixture, but you know, we found it frustrating at the time, and you know, we were disappointed at the end not to come away with 3 points, so you know, that's definitely something we'll be looking to do. Right now, obviously, we've spoken a lot about coming back after this break and really wanting to kind of stamp our authority almost in the games coming up and really put down a marker. So, you know, it starts with St Mirren.
Yeah, Ruffy, I put on a top like that one day, play 5-a-sides, and I get absolutely slaughtered. There's some people can get away with it, some people can't.
I think he's just come out of the gym with that one. I hope he's not been outside in this weather, dressed like that anyway.
Yeah, listen, I'm now possibly going to change my opinion on this. I suggested that Hibs would finish top 3. They kind of lost their way with the midfield being dismantled. Neil Lennon put out the call to the board to back him in the window. They've got Scott Allen in a contract. I know Scott Allen wants to join them now. He wants in now, but Celtic are being sticklers about it. I can't work out why they're being sticklers. Hibs should get the finger out, make them an offer of some money to try and get him in now. Because I think he would be excited playing alongside his old teammate in Ryan Gauld.
Yeah, it's getting, if they got Gauld and they got Allen, it gets back to the 3 kind of style of players that they had before they were all split up. Really good footballers, and attractive to watch and exciting to watch as well. And I can't understand either why Celtic won't want to let them go out. Because Celtic usually, what you do is you flood all the other teams in the SPL with Celtic players, and then when they come to play you, they can't play, but they can cause damage against everybody else.
Yep. Listen, getting him off the wage bill is one thing. I think there was some like 37 players in that Celtic squad. Some of them have never kicked a ball. I mean, I think Scott Allen's had about 13 games, maybe 5 starts. Yep. Never really given a chance, in my opinion.
No, I've got a few friends that are Celtic supporters, and they've said the same thing, that he's never really been given a chance. I think for Scott Allen's sake, I hope he gets the move just now in this window and he goes and plays football, because there's no doubt, Peter, he's got unbelievable ability. The last time he was at Hibs, I thought he was outstanding, and I'm sure the Hibs fans will be excited with Ryan Gauld and Scott Allen in the midfield.
Stevie Mallin's in there too.
Stevie Mallin, you've got some amount of quality in there.
Yeah, it would be a different style. The one thing I was going to say to you is they've managed to add Stefan Omiyonga, who Neil Lennon reckons has got great similarities with N'Golo Kante. If he's half the player of N'Golo Kante, because I think Neil Lennon wants him to do the dog work. He wants him to actually go and graft and let the other creative players, do something special.
Yeah, well, Bartley was good at that, but he's been in and out of the team. I think that's what Neil Lennon's obviously identified, that he needs like a dog in the middle of the park, somebody that's going to go do the dirty side of the game and let these guys who are technically very good go and do their thing, score goals, create goals. And certainly Scott Allen and Ryan Gauld and Mallin have definitely got that in their locker. Yeah,
I think Hibs to win 2-1 at Fir Park tonight.
Yeah, I think Hibs will win. Fir Park, the surface will suit Hibs for me. It's in top class condition. I think Hibs will win that one tonight.
Yeah, I was impressed with Hibs at the weekend there. I think they'll carry on, and with the form that Motherwell's in, I think they'll win as well, 2-1.
Yeah. What is it with all your old teammates landing jobs? Morris Ross has got the reserve team coach at Fir Park. Yep. Good for Morris. Great to see him back in the game.
Yeah, I read a bit in the paper about a year ago that I think it was in the Faroe Islands he was managing over there. Yeah. It's good to see your ex-teammates back in the game. They can offer something, there's no doubt about that. And Morris has got a great opportunity at Motherwell.
Yeah, and of course, Lee McCulloch, I think at Dundee United, we mentioned it at the top of the programme, he'll be focusing on working with the midfield come strikers, hitting the target.
Yep, no, I'm glad for him. He had a difficult time at Kilmarnock. It never went great for him. He tried a wee stint over in Poland and that ended pretty early. So I know he was looking to get back in the game, and it's a good opportunity for me at a good club in Dundee United. He'll get up there and get his training gear back on and start his coaching again. Okay,
if we think Hibs are going to win, I also think Hearts will win against Dundee, who haven't shown any great form at all, Ruffy. Stevie Naismith suspended for this one, but I just get the feeling that slowly but surely, Ikpeazu, Herring, Suter, they'll be back in mid-February. I think Hearts are getting the squad that they have been craving at the right time for that push in the top 6, possibly top 4.
Yeah, I think Hearts have got back to what they've been doing for the last couple of seasons. Very, very difficult to beat, particularly at home. They just seem to grind out results. I think it will be a wee bit of a struggle for them when Naismith not playing, because he sort of links up with everybody. I still think they'll win the game, but I don't think they'll win it by a large large amount.
Yeah, I like the fact that you hear stories when they speak to certain footballers. Callum Morrison saying he's staying behind for training now because the likes of Ikpeazu, when he comes back, and of course Vanacek's in there, tall players, he's staying behind to work on his crossing. I think I love to hear young footballers say that, work at their trade. It's like Andrew Robertson at Liverpool, stayed behind, worked on how to get better to influence Jurgen Klopp's selection.
Yep, I love that. I love seeing young kids spending extra time on the training ground. Once your training session's finished, in a bit of lunch, and then get back out in the afternoon to practice, because it's only going to make you better. If you're out in that training part as many hours as you can, the boy, you'll only get better for doing that, and I'm glad to hear that, and a lot of young boys should take heed of that.
Hearts to win by a couple?
Hearts far too strong for me.
Yeah, okay, everybody agrees with that one. St Johnstone against Livingston. Tony Watt says he'd like to extend his stay. I think Tommy Wright has been great for him. Love to see him stay there and score a barrel load of goals.
Yeah, for me, he's no fault the potential that he's shown early doors at Celtic. So he's done okay up there. I think there's still more to come for Tony Watt. But this game's got a draw written all over the top of it. Two teams that are defensively strong.
Yeah, I think Tony Watt's done well, particularly with McLean leaving. He was a big player for St Johnstone. I do think St Johnstone are on a wee run of form now, particularly at home. I'm going to go for a St Johnstone win.
Yep, okay, there you have it, the predictions. You can give us your predictions, you can give us your reaction on YouTube, Facebook and of course Twitter to the Premiership. And we will go back over it tomorrow in the company of Hugh McDonald of the Daily Mail. Will be joining myself and Ruffy on the show. Just one little footnote, Neil Lennon is joining an SFA working group, just basically collectively representing the managers. He reckons if he joins that group, the managers will be out on strike in 2 weeks. But it's building bridges. The one thing about it, Ruffy, is you need communication to stop people slaughtering each other, from their own camp.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why he does what he does is because he's so passionate about the game. And maybe we have been in there at that kind of meeting, he can explain to everybody what it's like when you have that kind of passion standing at the touchlines, and maybe they all can sort of get a grasp of why he does what he does.
Yeah, who'd be a manager? Well, Barry Ferguson for one. Ruffy avoided it like the plague, and that's why I'm delighted he's here with me. Give us your view. Don't forget you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Thanks to Ruffy, thanks to Barry, and from myself, Peter Martin. Thanks for watching.
The Arnold Clark Reel sale is now on.